What's up, language challenges? 안녕. It's been 3 months since my last and first learn Korean video, but I did not neglect my Korean studies. In fact, I've been meeting up with my Korean language exchange partner almost every week. So if you're a beginner in Korean, this video might be very useful for you. We will go through these topics right here. First of all, some basic phrases, then the verb 이다, then the pronouns 이것, 그것, and 저것, and finally the verb 있다. Have fun! I'm not a huge fan of learning phrases by heart, but for a beginner it might be useful just to get the conversation going and to practice your pronunciation with those useful phrases, such as 한국어를 아직 잘 못해요, which means I don't speak Korean well yet. 한국어 means Korean language. 를 is a particle that marks the object in a sentence. For those of you who study Japanese, it's basically the particle wo. I will do a separate video explaining the most common particles. 한국어를 아직 잘 못해요. 한국어를 아직 잘 못해요. I hope that at this point you've already learned how to write and read Hangul, because reading those romanized transcriptions might be even more difficult and confusing sometimes. Hangul is very easy to learn, so just do it! Here's the second phrase. 천천히 말해주세요, which means please speak slowly. 천천히 means slowly, and 말해주세요 is the imperative form of to speak. So please speak slowly. 천천히 말해주세요. 천천히 말해주세요. The third and last one is 다시 한번 말해주세요, which means please say it again one more time. 다시 means again. 한번 means one time or once. And then again we have the 말해주세요. Please say. 다시 한번 말해주세요. 다시 한번 말해주세요. Let's move on to the verb 이다, which has the meaning to be. One of the first sentences that I learned was 대학생입니다, which means I'm a student. 대학생, student. 입니다 is the formal conjugation of the verb to be, 이다. First of all, you need to know that Korean is a SOV language, so the subject is followed by the object, and at the end there is the verb. But as you can see, there's no subject in this sentence, only the object, 대학생, and the verb 입니다. In Korean, you can leave out the subject if it's clear from the context anyways. You could say 저는 대학생입니다, but in everyday speech, it's common to leave out words such as I or you because it's obvious from the context. As I've mentioned, 입니다 is the formal conjugation, so if you're talking to someone who's older than you need to use 입니다. Me, however, since I'm talking to my language exchange partner who is at the same age as me, I can also say 대학생이에요. Using the yo form is more casual and it's still not considered impolite. Another very important aspect in Korean, verb forms usually have two variations. If I want to say I'm a doctor, it's 의사예요. So you don't say 의사이에요. You need to pay attention to the word that comes before the verb. So in the first sentence, it is 대학생, so it ends with a consonant, ng. In that case, you need to use 이에요. However, if the word ends with a vowel, such as 의사, then you need to use 예요. 의사예요. Quick test for you. If I want to say I'm Swiss, which is 스위스 사람. Swiss means Switzerland. 사람 means person, so a Swiss person. 스위스 사람. Now, do I need to say 이에요 or 예요? It is 이에요 because 사람 ends with a consonant m. Thus, you need to use 이에요. Now, if you want to ask a question with the more casual form, you simply need to go up with your voice. For example, are you a student? 대학생이에요? So you don't need to add anything to the sentence, just go up with your voice and you have a question. Let's move on to the third part. The word this or this thing in Korean is 이것. If you want to ask, what is this? You need to say 이것은 뭐예요? 이것 means this thing right here. And 예요, we had that before, it's the verb to be. 뭐 means what. And then we have this particle 은, which marks the topic of a sentence. A topic is not necessarily the subject. In English, it would be something like, as for this thing, what is it? So as for something. For those of you who study Japanese, it's basically the word wa. So again, what is this means 이것은 뭐예요? 이것은 뭐예요? If you want to give an answer, you need to use the word 그것. 이것 only refers to something close to the speaker, while 그것 refers to something close to the listener. The answer could be something like 그것은 책이에요. So that thing over there is a book. No. Why now? So you could ask, for example, 이것은 책이에요? Is this a book? 네, 그것은 책이에요. Or 이것은 사과예요? Is this an apple? 아니요, 그것은 바나나예요. Time for the last topic for today, which is the verb 있다, which also has the meaning to be, but in the sense of there exists something. It can also mean to have something. For example, 개가 있어요 can mean there is a dog or I have a dog. 개 means dog, 있어요 is the conjugated yo form, and we have 가, which is yet another particle. Surprise! The particle ga marks the subject of a sentence. There is an equivalent in Japanese as well, which sounds exactly the same, so it's the hiragana ga. Again, 개가 있어요 can mean there is a dog or I have a dog. Now, if you want to express the opposite, meaning there isn't a dog or I do not have a dog, you need to use the verb 없다, which means to not exist or to not have something. Example, 개가 없어요. I do not have a dog or there isn't a dog. There are a few expressions that use the verb 있다 or 없다. If you want to say that something is interesting, you need to use the expression 재미있다. 재미 means interest, so basically you're saying there is interest. Or if something is not interesting, you say 재미없다. Example, 영화가 재미있어요. The movie is interesting. Or the opposite, 영화가 재미없어요. Another expression that uses 있다 or 없다 is if you want to say that something is tasty or tasteless. Tasty is 맛있다, so 맛 means taste. Be tasteless, to be tasteless is 맛없다. Example, 바나나가 맛있어요. That's it for today. Congratulations, you made it till the end. Yeah. I know the basics might be a little bit boring, but it's important to build up a good foundation before you move on to the more advanced stuff. In the next video, we'll mainly focus on verbs, so it will get a lot more interesting. See you then. Thanks a lot for watching. If you have learned one or two things from this video, please make sure to give us a thumbs up. And if you want more language related stuff, feel free to subscribe and yeah, check out the other videos right here. Okay, bye.